What's going on, guys? Jacob Worth back here with another video of Jacob's Life in Vegas, coming to you guys on a beautiful morning here in Southern Nevada. It's I think low 80s in the temperature right now. It's gonna definitely get warmer later today, but right now it is gorgeous, man. I'm feeling good. I already did my cardio this morning. Blood's pumping, life is good. I'm over here east of the strip right now. I'll give you guys a shot of where I'm at because I don't think I've ever filmed a video in this spot. So here, you guys can see. There's, actually you can't even really see. Ellis Island is just right, literally up the road. There's a little side street to Ellis Island. There's a little connecting street or alley right here that will take you to Harmon. Let's see, there's the Harbor Island Apartments. You guys see Hard Rock? Yeah, you can. Or soon to be Virgin, I guess. But you guys can see the strip behind me. So this is a spot most of you are probably not going to visit, okay? So as beautiful as this morning is today, we're going to talk about something that's not so beautiful, and that would be about the crime that has taken place on the strip recently, the violence, which, you know, I've talked about before recently, but it's gotten, you know, worse, especially since Labor Day weekend. So guys, I ask that you go ahead and give the video a thumbs up anyway. All right, I know this is not the funnest topic, but for a lot of people, this is something important to them because they're thinking about coming here on vacation. So if they're coming here, they hear stuff in the news, they hear things like that, you know, they want to know if they're going to be safe or do what they can to stay safe when they come here. So let's go ahead and talk about this. There has been about a 16% increase in certain crimes here, and I'll put the link down below to the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department's website, their crime mapping website. So you guys can look a lot of this stuff up on your own. I'll put screenshots up on the screen, although the screenshot didn't quite fit perfectly, but you guys can at least get an idea of what I'm talking about. So we're talking about 16% increase in crime from the last 30 days is the reference I used on here, and you can see in the screenshots too, but just certain crimes. You know, I didn't really search for stuff like disturbing the peace, noise complaints, things like that. I searched the stuff that I thought people were going to be most concerned about. So stuff like homicides, assault and battery, robbery, weapons reports, things like that. There has been about a 16% increase in recent weeks. So that's what we're looking at here on the strip. So I've talked about this before in a more recent video about the violence that had been taking place. And one of the big criticisms actually some people had, and I see in the comments or people on social media talking about, was they felt that the local media was ignoring a lot of it. They felt the local media wasn't giving it very much attention. And now it seems like the local media has definitely picked up on it more.
Says the increase the number of officers on the strip after a number of fights and other problems that happened over Labor Day weekend.
And some say the problems are continuing. This past weekend, Metro made 62 arrests over both days, and a total of 10 guns were recovered.
So as you guys saw in the news report, you know, things have not been going well in Vegas really recently since the reopening in terms of crime. Then, you know, Labor Day weekend obviously was, in terms of crime, was not very pretty with the 62 arrests and then 10 firearms that were recovered. So, you know, I'm willing to bet that within those 10 firearms that were recovered, probably some of those were stolen, or some of those are people who were not legally supposed to be having firearms anyway. But you know what? Criminals don't care about current laws, and criminals don't care about future laws. So, you know, when you're here, you want to be aware of that. You want to do what you can to protect yourself. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But as far as coming here to Vegas, you know, and trying to stay safe on the strip, if you look at the crimes, what you'll notice, if you look at that crime mapping website, what you'll notice is certain crimes, like a lot of the weapons ones, you know, those tend to happen more so at nighttime. After about 7, 8 o'clock at night, those tend to happen more in the evening time, or, you know, very early morning hours, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning, something like that. Robberies seem to be a little bit more spread out between the evening time, like, and during the daytime. And then assaults are probably the most distributed between assault reports during the day and assault reports during night and stuff like that. Homicides, actually, I don't think we've, in the past month or so, I don't think we've actually had a homicide wind up taking place on the strip or Fremont Street or anything like that. With all the shootings and violence that has been going on, fortunately, there has not been a homicide that has taken place. So I want to talk a little bit about, you know, helping you navigate your way here in Las Vegas and navigating that kind of safety. So the first thing I said is, yes, you know, certain things, crimes tend to happen more so at night, okay? Even just, you know, you talk to anybody who's been a private police officer for any length of time, they'll tell you there's more crime happening at night than there is usually during the daytime. thought the guy had plenty of room, but okay. Anyway, let's continue on. So if you guys are gonna go to Fremont Street, all right, so you guys are coming here to visit, you're gonna go down to Fremont Street, okay? And I have to give advice here that's very broad, all right? Because I know a lot of you are in different situations, so, you know, a whole bunch of factors can come into play here. If you're coming to Vegas by yourself, if you're coming with a group of friends, you know, even then, your group of friends, is it you and, you know, 7 buddies who used to be, you know, Army Rangers and you guys know how to kill someone with just your thumbs? Or is it, you know, you and 7 friends and, you know, you're all incredibly out of shape and you have no way of, you know, defending yourself, you don't know how to defend yourself, things like that, okay? Are you older? Are you younger? You know, there's a whole bunch of factors that come into play here. So I'm gonna, you know, give broad advice and play it a little more conservative. You can take this advice, follow it. You can say, hey, that's, you know, you can say you disagree, whatever, okay? But if you're gonna be down on Fremont Street in that area, the general range that I would say you probably want to stay in if you want to be in the tourist area is on Fremont Street itself underneath the canopy. So from Las Vegas Boulevard to from Las Vegas Boulevard to about Main Street. So from Fremont Street, Las Vegas Boulevard to about Main Street, and then all the way up to about Stewart is where I would say. So that, you know, couple block area, and Stewart is where the Mob Museum is. So, you know, that kind of area, if you stay in that area where most of the people are, you're probably gonna be okay. You start going north of Stewart on the other side of the freeway, that's when it's definitely not as nice of an area. If you're gonna be on Fremont Street and you wanna venture down to like Container Park, I really would not recommend for most people going much past Container Park. Some people might want to go to Atomic Liquors. They feel safe walking down there. Again, situation dependent, okay? But I generally would not recommend going past Container Park if you're going east on Fremont. So I think if you tend to stay in that more populated area, you're probably gonna be okay. When you start getting on the outer parts, where there's not as many people, where you know, if you don't know the area that well, especially, then, you know, I think you run a bit higher risk of running into some type of bad situation, particularly if it's at night. Now, when it comes to the Strip, it's a little bit tougher because obviously the Strip has, you know, more people, it's got more action, it's more congestion, and just really by volume of numbers, you're probably gonna have more incidents on the Strip than you are over on the Fremont Street area. On the Strip, believe it or not, actually in this last 4 weeks or 30 days, there are some spots on the Strip that have had less issues than others, and one of them, I'll start this off, a lot of people would probably not expect this, is Circus. Over at the north end, Circus. In that period, that time stretch, they had only 4 incidents, and or 4 reports, I'll say, to Metro. And it was, I think, 3 assaults, and then 3 assaults in 3 days. And then outside of that, they had 1 robbery in that 28-day stretch. Now, people might hear that and they may say, oh, wow, that sounds, you know, really bad. Well, there are properties, there are places on the Strip in that same time span have had 8, 10, 11, 12, 17 reports to police, okay? And now when it comes to where these properties are, you know, if something happens outside in front of it on the sidewalk, they can't do anything about that because it's not part of their jurisdiction. They have no control over what happens there. But if you're just looking at purely at the numbers, purely at the crime reports and the crime statistics here in the Vegas area, Circus recently has been one of the safer ones. Another area to look at is the Wynn. The Wynn, I think they've only had 1 incident. I believe it was an assault in the past, those past 4 weeks. Treasure Island has had 2 in that time. And actually one place where there's been there's been absolutely 0 incidents, 0 reports to Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department in this 4-week span was New York, and on the website it says Monte Carlo, but now it's Park MGM. They've had no police reports, no assaults, no robberies, no weapons charges, no homicide, no nothing over there. So again, it could just be, you know, by total chance, but if you look at these statistics and that's important to you, that's something you may want to look into. Now, when you're coming here, and if you come here and you feel like, you know, depending on, again, how much you know, how much training you've had, how much you're confident in your physical abilities, your self-defense abilities, things like that. If you come here and, you know, say you do want to carry tools or carry something on you to help you defend yourself, you know, again, particular to your situation, the only place I know that's on the Strip where you can wind up getting self-defense tools is PVK. So PVK Las Vegas, I think it's PVK Knife. Knives Las Vegas. You guys have seen on my live streams a couple times I've walked in there. You know, they obviously have knives, as you would expect, but they also have pepper spray, they have stun guns or tasers, things like that. They don't sell firearms. They have, you know, batons. They have things that you can carry on yourself. So even if you come here to Las Vegas and you don't wind up carrying, you don't wind up bringing anything with you, like a knife. You can fly on a plane with, you have to check your luggage for, a knife or a firearm or things like that. So you can, if you have them from home and you want to bring them with you because you feel safer with that, you can do that, okay? It is America. Yeah, you can do that. But if you don't bring any of that, there's places you can go. If you're over on Fremont Street, the only place I really think you could probably go is like a pawn shop or something in that area that you can find that's open. You could probably get something over there. But on the Strip, PVK really is the only spot that I know of. Now, if you're gonna be traveling here and you're gonna be bringing a handgun, you're gonna be bringing a firearm because you like to, conceal, you like to be able to, have some, extra help. You like to have some extra assurance to help keep you alive if you find yourself in a bad situation like that. If you're coming to Nevada, Nevada does have CCW reciprocity with about 30 other states. Okay, so I can put I'll put a link down below actually to the website here, the actual government website that shows all of the states that Nevada honors their concealed carry weapons permit they have reciprocity with. So if you're in a state, like I can tell you some of them off the top of my head, like California, your permit is not valid in Nevada. You're coming from New York, whatever the case is. If you're coming from most of the states that have really strict gun laws, the only exception I know of is Massachusetts. For some reason, Nevada honors Massachusetts. But the rest of them, New York, New Jersey. But if you're coming from Utah, Arizona, Texas, Idaho, Florida, some of those kind of states, you are good to go here in Nevada. If you live in a state like California or New York or whatever, all you have to do is get a permit from one of those states that Nevada honors. So I'll put a link down below too if you guys want to get, there's a Virginia one you can actually get online. You can just do it that way. You don't have to, leave your house. If you want to go ahead and go through the course and do that. So you can get that one online. Nevada has reciprocity with that, or just get some other non-resident one. Utah, Arizona, Florida, you can just Google search it yourself, states that Nevada has reciprocity with if you want to come here with a firearm and carry it on you when you're here in person. I would recommend that you check Nevada's gun laws, do some research on that, because gun laws can vary state to state. But if you want to do that and carry a firearm on you for that protection, that is your right as a citizen, and you always have the right to defend your life here in the US. So gun laws can vary from state to state. I encourage you to research those, but you do have that option if you want to come here and do that. So guys, if you have any questions, comments, put them down below. Tell me what you think about the current situation here in Las Vegas, here in Southern Nevada. It's getting warmer, so I got to get out of the sun right now. But I'll put another cool video right over here that you guys can check out. I appreciate all of you watching. Stay safe. I am Jacob. This is My Life in Vegas.